diamond hunter. Yeah, Diamond Dennis. The American diamond hunter.
Hello. Hello, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Denis Tyrrell, aka Diamond Dennis. I was born in the state of Washington in 1959. I've moved back and forth across the United States with my family, and I finally settled in Fort Myers, Florida, which is about 120 miles west of here. I'm presently in Fort Pierce, Florida, working as a handyman. I became a handyman in 1995. I became a fireman in the year 2000. In 1976, I joined the military and did my time, and I got out in 1980. I washed cars, hung around, spent some of my military money, and one of my friends, my childhood friend, asked me if I wanted to get into construction. So that's basically how I got into construction, was a friend asking me. And we started metal framing, you know, the condominiums that are on the beaches, and the malls where you'd go shopping, and office buildings, and finally ended up doing homes, home after home after home, like that type of thing, as the years progressed. In 1995, I got my own business. So basically from 1982 to 1995, I was working for a lot of drywall companies. They would let you go because work would you know, subside some, and then they would rehire you again when they got more work, because they put in bids, and you know, everybody's putting in a bid for the same job, and it depends on who gets it. And you know, like I said, they would rehire you if they got the job. So I found myself getting work and then not having no work and having to go look for work. So that's when I became a handyman, was deciding to do it on my own. When in the year 2000, when I became a fireman, it was just one of those things that I was working as a handyman, and I thought it would be a good thing to become a fireman. So I really didn't like that too much. But during those years, when I was living in Fort Myers, and after having, you know, a wife and kids and being divorced and all of that, I found myself with some free time, where I bought some metal detectors, and I went around the beaches of Florida and metal detecting. It takes a lot of time and money and effort to go ahead and do all of this, you know, and you know, try to find something on the beach, modern day coins or jewelry, or if something happened to have come up from the ocean from hundreds of years ago from a Spanish wreck. You never know, but that's what it's all about. You never know what you're gonna find, right? So I got the aka Diamond Dennis from going to Murfreesboro, where the Crater of Diamond State Park is. And how that happened was, I was watching a show on TV about the 10 best places to find cash and treasure. So I got a piece of paper, you know, and I wrote all them down, and I wanted to visit as many as I could, just to, you know, have something to do. And when I finally got to Murfreesboro, this was in June of '06, I wanted to find out the whole process of diamond mining, because it's the only diamond mine in the whole world where you and I can go and step foot on a diamond mine and actually find gem quality diamonds. I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, how hard is it to, you know, dig up diamonds? So when I went there that month of June of '06, I found 6 diamonds, and that was just using the park's screens that they make. They're like 1 foot square, and one sits on top of the other, and you put dirt in it and you wash it and try to expose a diamond. After that month had come up or was over with, I basically just drove off and I went to Alaska to look for gold. I had a fire and lost everything that I owned, and I limped back with my tail between my legs and came back to Fort Myers, got my handyman business going again, started making money, and I decided to heck with it. What if I was to build my own equipment and go back full time and see if I could dig up the ground, process the ore, and see if I can find some diamonds. So by March of '07, I chose to do this. When I first got there, I met some people from June of '06, some more people, and nobody's going to tell you where the pot of gold is. Nobody's going to go, yeah, just dig right here and you'll find all that you want to find. No, it's finding out how the people are, trying to figure out what layer of dirt or sediment that the diamonds may be laying in. And I found out over time too, through Glenn Worthington's book, his first edition book, is that with a pyroclastic event that came from 120 miles down, it pushed the diamonds up, and then before we were here as man, erosion washed away all the light sediment and left the diamonds to settle somewhere. Well, how did they get there is when it rained, and washes everything away. So now when you walk to a river or a creek bottom, you'll see the water flowing in the creek. It winds and turns like this, and there's little pebbles all in there. Well, eventually that gets filled in, and then it gets diverted and it goes into another direction. Well, where I was standing on the diamond mine, right here, where I was standing on the diamond mine, as you can see, it's flat. Well, there's a mountain here, and then this is looking to the south, this is east, this is west, and that is north. So the east drain, they call this the east drain because you're stepping off from the concrete where the Diamond Discovery building is right here, and you walk down, and it's flat. Well, it never used to be flat. So I had to figure out how, from where the pyroclastic events took place, where the diamonds went to. And those little creek bottom estuaries down here, up underneath the surface, flow in all different directions. I did not know this, and nobody was going to tell me. But after reading the book about how people were digging, I learned that that's what they were doing, is that they were trying to follow or take a probe and puncture that little tiny estuary of gravel. Like if you stuck a probe in the ground and you heard nothing, then there was nothing there. But if you stuck a probe in the ground and you heard this tink, 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 like that, then you knew that you had hit a tiny little gravel deposit, is what I'll call it. So depending on how deep that was, you only have one day to dig a hole, and you have to fill it in that day. That's the park's rules. I never broke any of the rules, ever. So you dig a hole and you fill it back in after you get the ore out. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture. This is a typical hole that I dug right there. That's me standing in a hole, basically 6 foot by 4 foot, 6 foot deep. I got a probe, a 4 foot probe here, and my 8 foot probe is facing in that direction. And this was just a series of wood things where I could stick my buckets full of ore. I had a canopy over top here, and it's a clayish material. It's called kimberlite. Diamonds come in lamperite. Lamperite is green as the grass, and this is a brownish, clayish material, sediment. But people used to stand here, 60 70 years ago, people were standing where I was, even though now sediment is there. Because in the picture, the ground is flat. But after a while, when you start punching hole after hole after hole, you get a puzzle. And I started to keep a reference of where those holes were, so that you could see how many steps it was from here to here, from here to there, and stuff like that. That's the holes. It's just a portion of the holes, and then I would write the diamond count that I had in there and the size of the diamond and stuff like that. But that's how I got into diamond, was watching the show. And on the show was the Canary diamond, which was worn by Hillary Clinton at the inaugural, and it was a 4-carat diamond. I was like, wow, you know, that's truly amazing. It's not that I wanted to find a bigger one, but, you know, we all want to prosper, so, you know, I was giving it my best shot. The diamond Dennis came later on when I started finding more diamonds, and I started finding more diamonds by digging holes by myself, hole after hole after hole after hole, figuring out where those diamonds were, what to throw away and not waste any time with, and where the diamonds were sitting in a particular layer of gravel deposit. So that's how I got into mining, was watching a show, going there, giving up everything to go and do it, using my handyman skills to build equipment used by hand, because it has to be fair. You have 2 hands, I have 2 hands, so you know, the only advantage I had was the fact that I had handyman skills and I could build something. You know, to go through a typical average day of digging for diamonds is, you know, you get up, you have some coffee, and you get your mind set about, all that backbreaking work about digging a hole, you know. But there's a reward, right? There is. It's at the end of the day, whether it was that day that you dug and washed, or it was the next day after you collected all of that ore and you put it in your buckets and you put it in a pen, that you washed it. Okay, washing it using water, the weight density of minerals and gravity pulls the diamonds out of their captivity, where they've been sticking all this time. So just like gold goes down into a river, it finds the lowest point to settle in, and that's what the diamonds did. They found their way, when it was running through the little creek bottoms, down, and rocks would capture them behind this one or that one, and same thing with gold. It gets caught, so you have to expose that. In order to do that, you have to break it down. Well, I built that equipment to break it down the most efficient method possible by man. By doing that, I was producing more ore, thousands and thousands of tons through the months, finding diamonds, a lot of them. I was just amazed myself. So that, you know, during the day when it's all hot, whether it's in the winter months or the summer months, I didn't care. I was going to go and dig, and I was going to persevere, and I did. So you would just basically dig a hole and get the ore out, either put it in your pen or save it for the next day, and then come back the next day and set up your equipment and start washing, and throw, at the end of the day, throw some sarukas that the gravel is all washed nice and clean, and the weight density of minerals, everything that's heavy comes to the center. There's 40 minerals in a diamond mine. that's what it takes for diamonds to exist, is 40 of them. So it's like the top 10 get into a parameter in your Saruka about this big around, and then everything outside of that is just discard, waste. But when you would throw it over at the end of the day and the sun was shining and that was drying, your diamonds would be exposed at that time. So that is basically your reward of a hard day's work when you woke up that morning and were thinking about, you know, the pain in your back or whatever. So there is a reward about finding diamonds. And it's tough. Any job is basically tough. I mean, you know, it depends on how motivated you are and how determined you are to work your way up the ladder. My ladder was, you know, at the bottom of the hole and just working my way out of the hole, but it was a series of, you know, what it was I had to dig up in order to find diamonds. If I dug this layer, I'm wasting my time. A lot of effort was put into it, nothing. So at the end of like 29 months of digging, I just started going through a certain layer, and by doing so, I was concentrating more on that layer and finding more diamonds quicker. So there were times when I found really nice diamonds, like this one. This is a 131 yellow. I'll show it to you real quick. The front side and the back side. Okay, that's what a perfect 131 yellow looks like. With the facets made by Mother Nature. This is my first big diamond that I found. It was awesome. So 100 points makes a carat. This is a 131. So this was that day. I came back from registering it, and this is when I was up registering it. And this is when I came back, and one of the people there took a picture of me holding the diamond. I'll take some still photos of these so that you can see them a little bit better. But this was on the diamond mine the day that I found the 131. And like I was saying, when you start finding diamonds through the ore deposits that you're concentrating on, you end up finding more quicker. And a lot of them are, you know, like this is my biggest find right here. It's 4 carats and 42 points, real quick like. I called it the Kimberly diamond. This was that day that I registered it there at the Diamond Discovery Center. What I did was during the months that I was there was I kept a ledger of the diamonds, June of 06 and then April of 07, and I kept a ledger. The orange is every diamond that's over a carat. So every month I kept a ledger of the diamonds, and diamonds, more and more. You know, January of 08, April of 08. This is when I had my fire right here. You just keep finding them. July of 08, August, September, and it showed how many diamonds, how many carats I was up to, how many I would find that month. October of 08, it just kept going and going, and I just kept finding more and more. And then at the end, this is July of 09, July of 09 right here. Look at all the diamonds I found in just 1 month's time when I started hitting pay dirt. And that's just the ledger. I was just keeping track of it. During some filming, John Sims filmed me for a documentary called Crater People. So it's 31 minutes of me, a year in the life of Denis Tyrrell. I have a published theme song, Diamond Dennis. by Joey Holiday, who sung it, but he and I wrote it. And like I said, I have DVDs of pictures of all of the diamonds and things and holes and all of that I've done. And all of that's a lot of fun and everything. Whenever I would find a diamond, sometimes I would sell it. Sometimes I would make jewelry out of it. But eventually, it was a survival thing. I had to have diamonds in order to make a living. And the best thing about mining any kind of gem is the reward of what you're going to pull out of the ground, or the anticipation of saying, what am I going to find next, and how big is it going to be, and how pretty is it going to be, and it's just it's an unbelievable feeling to have all of that bestowed upon you while you're out there working. And I would say that opposite of that, the worst thing about mining is not being there and doing it on a full-time basis. I love it, but like I said, I do my handyman business to survive. Where is it that you can go in the whole world and you know, try to find diamonds that you're not ridiculed or threatened in some way, because nobody wants you to have what you're looking for. I like doing handyman stuff. I have done other things. I've been a bus driver for kids. I've worked for the state of Florida's highway department. Like I said, I was a fireman, an EMT. I've done all kinds of things, but because of the knowledge I have as a handyman, I use that to survive on. And basically going around the world looking for things is something that I would love to do. For instance, you know, when I left the diamond mine, I went to California and I dug up gold. See, gold. See, cool, huh? I kept that just because it was something that I did at the time. You know, like finding diamonds. You know, this is a piece of quartz. It's a tumbled piece of quartz that went down the little creek bottom. But when I exposed it and it was wet, you know, it looked like a big old diamond. Well, of course, it's just a piece of quartz, but it kind of takes your breath away, you know, when you see something like that at first glance. But because it doesn't have facets on it, it's not a diamond. So, I enjoy looking for diamonds and or basically any mineral for that matter. I've had a lot of fun, and I've lost a lot through fires and you know, a second marriage and everything. But you know, it's about life, and we're doing the best we can as individuals. So I'll give you a shot of my trailer. This is my tool trailer right here, so that you can see it right here. I haven't seen anybody with a trailer even closely resembling it and all the tools that I have in it. It's what I drag around. It's what I take care of. It provides me all of the work that I need, because when people see that, you know, it's a good impression. I'm proud of myself for the accomplishments that I've taken in my life, even though there's losses, but that's what life's about too. So all in all, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I know you're going to edit it, and I did the best with the pictures that I have, the trinkets. You know, I hope it becomes a good thing for all of us. I'm not married. I'm not held down in any way, so I can go anywhere I need to go and do what I want to do. Like I just got an like an offer to go to Key Largo, back to Key Largo, and go to work there and pursue treasure hunting. And I've also put my application in, at the Mel Fisher Institute, where they've done all of that Spanish treasuring. But it's a close-knit family, and it's hard to get into, and it doesn't matter about whatever effort I put into trying to find stuff. It's all about money. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think I've answered all of your 10 questions. Who are you, and where are you from, and how did I get into mining, and talk us through an average day of mining for diamonds, and how tough is it physically, and what is your best find, what happens to the diamonds after you found them, and what is the best thing about mining, and what's the worst thing about mining, and what other jobs I have done, and what do I think about the prospect of going out and about the world and pursuing diamonds. I would just love to do that. It would be just the best thing ever that happened to myself in my life, so that all the other things wouldn't be in vain. I would just enjoy it immensely. So have a good day, and I'll talk with you later. Bye.
With his Saruka and his pick and his shifting screens, he spends all day just chasing his dream. He's found 500 diamonds and that ain't all. Every day he goes to work in a studded overalls. Call him Dennis, the Diamond Hunter. You Diamond Dennis, the Diamond Hunter. They call him Dennis, the Diamond Hunter. You Diamond Dennis, outdo us all. Diamond Hunter, the Diamond Hunter. Diamond Hunter, Diamond Dennis, Diamond Dennis, the Diamond Hunter.